this, well, you know what it is because it's in the title below the video. But let's just say you're walking in my general direction and you're looking in my general direction and you notice that my shoes are really cool, and then you happen to look up and you see this big massive SUV behind me. There's a very, very good chance you will recognize what it is, the Cadillac Escalade. But the thing is that you're missing something like 90% of the story, because this is a 2023 Cadillac Escalade-V. Yes, the most badass, most powerful production SUV Cadillac has ever put on the road. And it is quite potentially the most understated Q-ship vehicle your money can buy right now. And I'm kind of on the fence about that, because normally I would love subtle, discreet things that are essentially realistically over the top, ultra powerful, and then some. The thing is, there's one thing about this SUV that is just way over the top, that it doesn't work with the remainder of the truck. It doesn't work in my mind with Cadillac Escalade. And now this is just my hang up when it comes to this SUV. Obviously you'll hear more about that a little bit later. And there's another thing that keeps, okay, no, before that, I mean, in this very rare and exclusive ultra premium super powered SUV segment, there are a few players that, in my opinion, better manage to blend distinct styling, insane performance, in an aura, in a package that is distinctive enough so that people understand what it is. But if you miss the badges on this thing, again, you don't know that it's a V. And again, that should be really, really cool, but I have a hard time, and I think I know why. I'll tell you this right now. I think the Escalade-V exists because there was a debate internally at GM. Someone wanted to bring a Tahoe SS, return of the Tahoe SS, slap in the same engine that's in this thing and all the underpinnings, and really introduced a high performance, super insane SUV. But someone said, hey, you know what? We're gonna put a Cadillac badge on the front and we can charge $25,000 or $30,000 more just because of that. That's just my opinion. And don't get me wrong, this thing is incredible. I love it for all the right reasons, and it kind of annoys me for a number of other reasons. So what we'll do in the following video, as per the norm, we'll take a long walk around this long boy SUV, and then we're gonna go make some serious noise. Well, I can't because I live in a civilized neighborhood, but yeah, you understand what I mean, so let's go. All right, let's just get right into it. I mean, styling-wise, I pointed out the badges, that it's a definite part that stands out with the Escalade-V. The other thing are these 18-spoke 22-inch wheels, which in my opinion, in fact, when I picked up the truck, I thought these were like regular Sport Platinum wheels or something like that, because they look very much like those. But yeah, the front end is different, a little bit more aggressive, lots of blacked out bits. As we walk around, I mean, everything is blacked out, but if I'm not mistaken, these are features that are available in other vehicles, other Escalades, including the Sport Platinum. Another distinct feature is the quad black tailpipes. What I'm trying to say is that there are distinct features about it, but and from the moment I read about this SUV when it was first introduced, I mean, the first competitor that comes to mind is the BMW Alpina XB7, which is insanely special for a number of reasons. One being the 23-inch, available 23-inch multi-spoke wheels. There's just something about them that is mind-boggling, special, unique. And yeah, the fact that it's about $8,000 cheaper than this doesn't really help the Escalade-V. But even so, well, the other thing too is this optional color. And I'm not making this up. It's argent or argent, silver metallic, $900 option. It's cool with the black. It's cool, but it serves to make it even more subtle looking, but not special. I really have a problem with the Cadillac Escalade apparently, because last time I drove it, I found all kinds of problems with it. Anyway, in the US, pricing starts at $149,695. Again, I don't know why I do that, I just do. In Canada, $178,898. It's already gone up about $1,000 over the last few weeks. Just to give you an idea, the one trim below the V are the Platinum, the Sport or the Premium Luxury, and they are priced at $125,298. So that's, yeah, yeah, I can math. 53, over $50,000, almost $50,000 more for the V. But the basic features are the same. So you do get that wild, curved, dual layered 33-inch OLED screen, power running boards, the rear entertainment system, I'll show that to you in a few moments, the AKG 36 speaker audio system, heated cooled front seats, heated steering wheel, massaging front seats, soft closed doors, so on and so forth. Also included are 22-inch wheels, obviously. So when you step up to this, I mentioned a few elements, right? The wheels. Another thing that bothers me because of the power, and we'll get on that in a second, are these Bridgestone Alenza tires. If I'm not mistaken, these are the same tires you get on the quote-unquote lesser Escalades. And this is a 682 horsepower Escalade. I don't know, it's kind of a, I'm bothered by the fact that it's kind of a half, I don't want to say assed, but I just did, effort. But other features included with this are the adaptive air suspension with the magnetic ride dampers, Brembo 6-piston front calipers. I mean, they're massive. They don't look that big in these 22-inch wheels, but they're big. Night vision, and that's about it. My tester has Super Cruise as well for a grand total of $182,500. Yeah. Yep. Okay, look, we've seen what these things look like on the inside. Might as well just do, love that by the way. The third row is down, but if it was up, you're looking at 722 liters of boot space. As is right now, it's over 2,000, almost 2,100 liters of boot space. I mean, you cannot possibly need more storage or luggage space than this. This bin is semi-useless, or I should say useful. Power second and third row seats to get them to move. All right. So power running boards, a must on this. Soft closed doors, why not? Just show you. There you go. That's always a really, really neat feature. My junk on the kid's seat, I guess it doesn't really matter. There's a tremendous amount of room back here, and getting to the third row is really easy. Now the second row is slid all the way back, so you can easily climb in, walk around, sit in there, and the third row, the seats, you can actually sit as an adult with your knees bent. There's a 12.6-inch screens, which are a blessing and not, because my kids only want to watch TV now every time they get into this thing. I guess that's it. Let's focus more on the front. Let's go for that. The Escalade itself is a very premium SUV, as you very well know. But there are always some elements, especially at this price point, that kind of half disappoint. Door cards, no. I forget the kind of wood that is, but it's beautiful. I forgot. Shucks. Look, the switch gear is lovely. The fit finish is very nice. And the plastics and the covered materials, very nice. And then you get here, and I know I'm being nitpicky, but it's 182 grand. I don't know, it shouldn't be like that. The seats are fantastic. This is part of the luxury interior package or something like that, which is standard, obviously, with the Platinum vehicles. So let's just slide on aboard. Actually, well, I'm thinking here. Okay, let's try this, see if it works. I'm pretty sure it will. So, yeah. See, that's the insane part. A little bit more about that in a few moments. Let's turn down. Okay, it is turned down. So there's your 38 inches of screen, dual layered here. This is very cool because it's a separate menu for the heads-up display and a few other things. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Is it a better shot? Yeah, there you go. But this is standard Cadillac fare. Everything else is too. I mean, the buttons are very nice. I love the fact that you have these hard buttons and they work very well. Everything else about the interior is fairly standard Cadillac fare. All the way to here. Storage is decent. I won't go in. I mean, it's big. There you go. What makes this one special is a Z button right here. That's your V drive mode. You do have these paddle shifters, which are fun and functional. I don't know how often drivers will actually use them when they have one of these. And then there's that button. And again, it's kind of weird because I would like for something a little bit more special like the V mode, but they should be together. Maybe not. I don't know. That's neat, I suppose. There aren't any other real interior things to show, but they're your drive modes. So touring, sport, snow, ice, towing, and my mode, which is always very fun, especially when you have adaptive dampers. Visibility is fine. I guess we just touch on that, and you can kind of work your way around the massive base of the A-pillar and the mirror mount. But that's it. I mean, suffice it to say that the interior doesn't really justify the price, but that sound you just heard helps to justify it. So here we go. We're driving. So yeah, the noise upon startup, and the truck is warm. I mean, in my quiet little neighborhood, I'm the problem. I know it. But the Escalade-V has taken me to a whole other level. If I'm not mistaken, on startup, this thing is louder, if memory serves, than a Durango Hellcat. And probably louder than any previous supercar I may have had from Lamborghini or McLaren. Certainly louder than any Porsche. This may be the loudest startup I've ever experienced. But thankfully, that sport performance exhaust kind of quiets down a fair amount once it's warm, so you can quietly cruise, as I'm doing right now through your neighborhood. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could hear that. That was maybe 1/3 throttle. It's just, this is what I mean by being so at odds. That's and it'll pop and bang and burble and fart too. It's insanely nuts. It's so un-Cadillac Escalade. I am driving a CT5V shortly, I hope. Somehow that fits better with the personality of the vehicle, but not the Escalade. I don't know what I have. There's something that I have against the Escalade. Being such a massive fan of the Yukon and the Tahoe, and my thinking they deserve so much more, even though they're fantastic and better than ever. But yeah, okay, so the Platinums weigh about 5,700 pounds, according to GM's data and information, and I couldn't find those numbers for the Escalade-V. I'm thinking it weighs 150 to 200 pounds more, give or take. Whatever. So this is with my large bottom in it, this is easily 6,000 pounds, 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4.4 seconds, meaning that it's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.6, 7, I don't know. It's just ridiculously fast. And that's, well, all courtesy of the hand-built, supercharged 6.2-liter V8, which produces 682 horsepower. That's a 682 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 653 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. Yes, Bolt EUV. Thanks to them, we can have these, or is it the other way around? I don't know. And the engine, the powertrain, the engine and the transmission are dreamy. Easily on par as far as the engine is concerned with the Hellcat, with the 6.2 Hellcat. There's a responsiveness and a creaminess to the way the power is produced. It's just superb. And one of my many favorite things about this SUV is the 10-speed automatic transmission. I just stepped out of a Ford Expedition Timberline with the with a 10-speed automatic transmission and a twin turbo V6, and I mean, in a word, it's terrible. It's jerky. It hesitates. It's laggy. It's all just really bad. And I wasn't that clear in my review because it seemed to get worse as the days went by. But in this thing, oh. And mind you, I'm only in touring. Apologies, I have a cold. In sport, it just gets... Good Lord. In sport, it's just a little bit sharper, but it's never harsh. The 10-speed is super... It's insane. It's so wrong, it's so right. Anyway, I've said enough about that. Fuel consumption, we don't speak about fuel consumption, okay? We do not. I will not consider it. I'll fill it up when I return it, and I won't bother with whatever. All right, so I showed you the snow and tow haul and the my mode. Which my mode, I have everything kind of set and chill, and then there's the V mode, which you can also program pops and burbles and stuff like that because I have the exhaust on maximum sport. For most settings, individual settings, there are only two. It's kind of like on-off or soft sport kind of deal, or normal sport, which is more than enough for this. One of the things that can be set is brake pedal response pressure, which is something I abhor. Is that the right word? I hate. Absolutely hate that. And I have it in normal. And brake pedal response is okay, but the feel in the pedal, I may as well be trying to brake, the BMW's brakes, because I don't feel anything. There's nothing transmitted to me from the brake pedal itself. I just know I'm slowing down because I'm slowing down. And it gets worse when you move that into sport and the more aggressive settings. I absolutely hate that. But look, we're going to go back into normal. In a touring, pardon-moi, Argent Silver. This is the most comfortable Escalade I've ever ridden in, I think. Because somehow it rides smoother, nicer, more refined, even over these. That's freaking impressive. Even over those nasty surfaces, this truck drives superbly. Steering, much like the brakes, it weighs up quite a bit when you get into sport and you program it separately. But it too, something's going on, but only because you see things, not because you get a sense of things. And this will bring me, I guess, to one of my final points about this. The Bridgestone Lenza tires. This thing seems so under-rubbered for what it is. It's a horrible missed opportunity in my mind. And I can't imagine that Cadillac GM are saying, oh no, we can't invest an extra $500 to put some better tires on. That's completely ridiculous. It's not that the tires are bad. They're more tuned for comfort and smoothness than they are for performance. And this is an Escalade-V. It's not even a V Sport. It's a V. The bottom line, and I think I mentioned it, the BMW Alpina XB7. It is so ultra special, unique, even though from any distance it looks like a regular X7 almost. It's just so much more enticing. Visually, I'm speaking. The drive, well, BMW's interior is also, in my opinion, a little bit richer, a little bit nicer. Yeah, poor Escalade. I'm being really, really bad. Really, really harsh. If this was a Tahoe SS or whatever other trim they would want to bring out and it was 30 grand cheaper, I would be far more understanding, I think. But because it's an Escalade and it still doesn't have rear sunshades in the rear doors, I allow myself to be very harsh. And then there's a GLS 63, if you can find one, if they're still available. And then there's a Range Rover, which also has mad power and is excessively pricey. But it's a Range Rover, which is cruel to Cadillac again. And this is a superb piece of kit, but it's too expensive over the Platinums. At least that's my opinion. And I know that I would want something a little bit more visually enhanced without being over the top like the XB7. And I'd need an exhaust mode, like a direct accessible exhaust mode. Yes, you can modify it. I mentioned that. Anyway, that's it. I'm done.